Just finished watching Superman this past weekend, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm not a Superman fan, but you know what? I'm a comic book nerd. You know what I'm saying? I gave it an opportunity, and I really enjoyed it. As it was entertaining. You know, the casting was spot on. I had doubts about all the people that was casting in the movie. You know, it was Superman did his thing. I like the dynamic that he had with Lois, and like I said, you know, even Luthor. You know, like I said, this movie was enjoyable. It was very entertaining. You know, it had heart. You know, it's just like a James Gunn movie. To me, it's a comic book movie. You know, I know a lot of people say it's mixed reviews and stuff like that, but you know what? I enjoyed it. It's just my opinion. This is what I like. You know, like I said, there was some breakout characters in the movie. Like I said, the whole entire cast, people were casted very well for the roles they played. You know, from Nathan Fillion doing Green Lantern, playing Guy Gardner. You know, he's a butthole. He's like that in the comic book as well. You know, Mr. Terrific, love his character. Just love his take on Mr. Terrific. You know, I can't pronounce the guy's name, but you know, he did an awesome job, man. Crypto, you know, the Crypto the dog, you know, he stole the show in certain scenes. You know, like all together, man. And even Luthor was did a great job, man. You know, it's just like it was a fun movie to watch. Yeah, there was nothing you could scratch your head on. You know, it's a comic book movie. They brought in people called an engineer. She's in there, and the engineer first comic book appearance is in The Authority. So you know that was kind of weird to put her in there. But I see James Gunn setting stuff up in this universe. So I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna give any spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. It's been out for 3 weeks, guys. So like I said, I really enjoyed this movie, and I think in my next video I'm doing a interview with the guy who played Otis. You know, Terrence Rosemore. I'm gonna do an interview with him. I'm gonna post it on here on TikTok. But guys, like I said, if I gave this rating for a movie out of 1 out of 10, I give it a 8 out of 10. You know, it was a good movie. It was enjoyable. The whole family is family friendly. You know, there's something that was in there, but altogether, it was a great movie to watch. So, guys, if you haven't checked it out, I would recommend picking it. Me not picking it up, but checking it out and watch it with your friends and family. Even if you're not a DC guy, man, check it out. You know, I really enjoyed it, guys. Peace.